Hello, everyone. This is Ben Jose. I'm joined by Joelle and Miranda. How are y'all doing today?
Doing well, thank you very much. I actually, speaking of greetings from the rodeo, I heard my first howdy, and it was like legit, like it wasn't a joke. So
So this weekend, Miranda and Robert were able to go enjoy the amazing Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, courtesy of Steven Oliveris and Precision Gym Maintenance. And I'm sure we'll share those stories at another time because, as she said when she summed it up, it was a culture shock. But that's for another time. Today we are here to talk about Black Wolf in the Open 19.3. So over the weekend on International Women's Day, which we'll get to, Friday night, we were here for a really well laid out in terms of logistics, able to run quite a few athletes per heat. So I think that's the shortest period of time in terms of the work we did. So from a facilitating the experience, it was a great night from my perspective. But let's go over the workout. Joel, what was the workout as announced for 19.3?
19.3 was 4-time with a 10-minute time cap, 200-foot overhead lunge. Men use a 50-pound dumbbell. Women use a 35-pound. Scaled was a front racked dumbbell lunge, 200 feet, followed by 50 step-ups. The scaling was the same for everyone here. All males stepped on a 24-inch box. All women stepped on a 20-inch box with their dumbbell, held however they wanted to, on the shoulder, behind the neck, hanging, dead hang if you wanted to, not the recommended way. Followed by 50 strict handstand push-ups. Again, showing no mercy for scaling here. You had to get upside down, whether arcs or scaled. Scaled, although their head had to touch an elevated platform that was 5 inches elevated. And then finally, following the 50 strict handstand push-ups, you had a 200-foot handstand walk or bear crawl. And time cap, again, 10 minutes to get all that done.
10-minute time cap. So with all that logistic-wise, we were able to run 8 athletes per heat, with the final heat having 10 athletes. So we ran 4 heats in the evening. We were done in a little under 2 hours in terms of, again, the work being done. We then stayed another 2 hours with the amazing food set out and prepared by Joel Balderas, Myra helping out, and then we had a few guys on the grill with him. And so a fabulous, fabulous night. But let's still stay focused on this workout. Miranda, when we looked at this workout when it was first announced, let's start with you personally, but maybe also you, like generally as a coach, looking at what your athletes can experience. What were your initial thoughts? Maybe it's the sticking points, the potential loss of time, or where we thought maybe we were going to do well.
I definitely was really excited when I saw this workout. I thought it was awesome. Like the strict handstand push-ups, nothing we've really seen in the open before, if I'm correct.
You are correct. Yeah, we haven't seen strict. What do you think? Do you think CrossFit gets tired of the criticism they get? Because if people don't know, the standards for handstand push-ups in the past have been a point of contention in the community.
Right.
Whether it's the tape, what is it, inches from the wrist versus this versus that. Do you think it was like, all right, we're sick of y'all's bullshit. Either you're just
shut
not
up and
do
get
them.
strict.
So you either have strict. Yeah, there's no question whether you completed strict. Did your elbows lock out or not? And we don't have to deal with you anymore. Like, do you think that was the play?
That could have been part of it, but I mean, it's also a high level skill, so I think it's cool to throw that in there.
True.
When I first saw it, or when Joel actually came to tell me what it was, I thought it was 2 dumbbells, so I was happy that it was just the one.
There you go.
But personally, my goal was to try to get through all the dumbbell stuff as quick as possible because I knew I would need as much time as I could on that wall, and I think that was a good strategy for most of us. I do have handstand walks, so I was a little bummed I wasn't able to showcase those at all, but I was proud of myself for getting some strict in there, and that's pretty much how I advised everyone to, especially if they were going for that first handstand, just kind of with control go through that stuff with the lunges or with the dumbbell, the step-ups. Try not to stop on the step-ups as much as possible. And give yourself some time on that wall to try it,
Yeah, absolutely. So when I saw this workout, and Joel, this will be for you because the only thing, when I looked at the women's side of it, it looked like a great workout. It looked like stuff we would program. Other than those strict handstand push-ups, we could have easily produced this workout. We've done the overhead lunge with 35 pounds. That is the standard weight we would use for our athletes. We've had them step up with load on a 20-inch box.
Mm-hmm.
But then the guys, it wasn't the dumbbell. it wasn't the lunge. It was that 24-inch box. What were your thoughts? And then how did it, like, your thoughts versus how it actually went? Because you moved well. If you had any trepidation, you didn't show it. You moved really well with it. But you being someone who's not known for your height, and so you looking at 24 with a 50-pound dumbbell.
I'm tall in spirit.
What were your thoughts before, and then what was it like during?
Thoughts were actually same as Miranda's. Get through that first part as fast as I could because I wanted to dedicate as much time to the strict handstand push-ups, as much time as possible because I don't use them in my training as much. But I knew that the box is going to be a pain in the butt for sure. So, I mean, the goal there was just to ignore the fact that it's a 24-inch box, get my foot on there, step up. And like you said, I didn't show because, one, I've experienced dumbbell step-ups, and I got through that faster than I thought, actually. So I actually performed the step-ups better than anticipated, sticking with the plan. So I thoroughly enjoyed the workout. Again, bummed that I didn't get to do handstand walks like Miranda as well. So there's that. What do you think about how everyone did on that box?
I think that it's the only part I would have changed had this been applied as a regular workout for the program. And it wouldn't be that I would have, again, I think the 20-inch height was perfect. Normally when we do step-ups here, I leave the height at 20 inches. That femur angle on the 24, it's a little bit aggressive. It's a little bit aggressive, and that's taxing the knee a little bit. And so it's not my favorite thing to program in terms of training, but of course performance or testing is different than training, so seeing what you're able to do is important. But even on the 20 with some of the ladies, the weight, there was a lot of not being able to lock out the working leg before the second leg had to come to assist. And to me, that's the indicator on the step up that we're being a little too aggressive, is if they're not able to drive all the way up on one leg. But during the open, that's where you let a little bit of wiggle room. Adrian is a tall guy. Yeah. So I would have changed the box, but that'd be case by case. So I would have scaled the box. But all in all, I think it went really, really well. In terms of performances, you two turned in great performances. And, of course, we should mention, because he is a part of the family, Mr. Robert Johnson getting to the handstand walk. The first 5 feet were a doozy. He was a little shocked by that one, but then settled in. Were you proud of your man? Were you proud of what he was able to do there?
Of course. I mean, actually, once I saw this workout, this is 100% his jam. Like, he's actually better at strict handstand push-ups than kipping. So
and for those who don't know, Robert's not a small person.
No.
Like, to hear that, and if you don't know Robert, you're like, oh, must be a little dude. Must be a ye little lad. Robert is not a small person. So for the statement to be his jam is strict handstand push-ups, that is solely a testament to that man's training and his mentality. So, yeah, that's very impressive in itself right there.
Yeah, for sure. I think another cool thing in this workout, too, is, like, that you had the ability to choose what way you held the dumbbell for the step-ups. Like, usually it's like, okay, you have to do things this way in CrossFit, you know? And so we saw a couple different ways that people were holding them. It seemed like, at least during Friday Night Lights, no one was really holding it by their side. I know you said they were in the morning classes.
We had a few in the morning do that, and they moved really well. But, of course, I mean, they also weren't people that were looking for handstand push-ups. They weren't looking to need to operate afterwards.
Right.
So what do we think the most successful was? Do we think behind the head? Do we think over the shoulder?
I think resting it on the shoulder was the way to go.
Resting on the did you switch shoulders?
I did, and I regret it.
Yeah.
I feel like that little bit of time, I could have had one more extra handstand push-up.
Yeah.
See, look, I look like I'm on the phone here. There's a picture, so I look like I'm making a call to Rogue, like, hey, these box step-ups suck. Or I'm trying to talk to Glassman or Castro, somebody, but I look like I'm on the phone here. I think that was the way to go. I think
that's good. Yeah, and I think that's what we saw the most of. So let's move to the highlights of the night. It starts with the outfits. So we did old school CrossFit and really just turned to kind of old school whatever. And so for those that don't know, back in 2010, CrossFit was all about tall socks. Reebok didn't exist. I mean, it existed, but like Nanos didn't exist yet. CrossFit hadn't made that deal. Games weren't on ESPN. So you had like awful footwear. You were either wearing your running shoes, you were wearing Vibram 5 Fingers, or you're wearing, I remember once I bought Saucony, which is a great running company. I bought their minimalist shoe, and it's a water shoe. I literally used it as a water shoe after that.
Did it have like separate things for your toes or no?
No, but it almost did. It looked like it did. So the Vibram 5 Fingers had the separate things. The Saucony had like a bright green bottom, and then it looked like it was going to go in at the big toe, and then it was a round on the other toes. And so it's very similar to the Vibrams. I worked at Academy during this time, when New Balance Minimus was the only minimalist shoe that really was accessible to the public, and Vibram. And, okay, Vibram, the barefoot shoe, look, there is a purpose, so I'm not here to bash it, but you don't need to wear them. And please, let's just go ahead and say you don't need them. But I was there. But the real thing was like basketball shorts and board shorts, you know, and then bad puns on T-shirts. So we had a lot of bright colors. I was doing like neon colors, just throwback stuff.
High socks. Some people taped up their bodies as well.
Yes, lots of tape. So this could have also been like extreme CrossFitter, like gear enthusiast. I was thinking about I should have put my knee sleeves on for no reason, like wore my weightlifters.
Yeah.
Just like, because back then, like people would go
belt.
They'd go into like the restaurant after they worked out in their weightlifters. Like they wanted people to know that
I do CrossFit.
That exactly. That was it. So we had some great costumes this week. A little bit different than the Disney Day. Really, the only one I want to mention specifically is the barbecue master himself, Joel, in the singlet. Old school weightlifting singlet. It was just, the one where like the nipple show, it comes in real aggressively. But I want to move on quickly, trying to keep this under 15, to kind of the highlights and performance. And we have the first one on the list, Elle's first strict handstand push-up. So did anybody else bear witness to this? I was near it.
I didn't get to see it.
I saw the cheering after it was completed. I should have. I told her before. I think you're gonna do it. I think you're gonna do it. And I should have locked in when I saw her approaching the wall. But it happened, and the crowd went wild, and it was really, really exciting. Not shocking to me.
Yeah, no, it's not shocking to me either.
I'm not sure there's anything that other than maybe an extremely heavy load, that would shock me.
I knew she had it in her. I didn't get to see the first one, but I kind of tried to help her out with the second one.
Yeah.
Which she was so close to getting another one. I told her to like take a break because she was trying to go for it right again. I was like, rest. You totally got another one, and she was right there. Awesome to be around.
That's so awesome. And then we kind of mentioned on the other. This was a difficult one to judge in terms of first because there wasn't a lift, there wasn't a max weight, and so being like I didn't PR. But as we mentioned, we wrote this down, there were a lot of PRs in that a lot of people had never stepped on a 24-inch box with a 50-pound dumbbell, never stepped on a 20-inch box with a 35-pound dumbbell. Yeah. There were so many that came to each of us and were like, I don't know if I should do RX because of lunge. Yeah. And a lot of them went to like, no, you should do it. Yeah. And they did it. Because there was a lot of worry about the 200 feet. Yeah. And then once you're like, hey, just go down and then rest and then come back. And then rest.
It's a big number, but it's really not.
You chip away at it, cut down the tree. So I think it was an amazing night. We have another great night planned ahead. We got St. Patty's Day coming up, so we're going to go all green this Friday night for 19.4. Again, it'll be announced 7 p.m. Thursday evening, and so we'll roll in. Last thing, we did it last week. Did anybody get anything right from last week when I asked y'all what?
She did.
Miranda did.
Dumbbells and handstand push-ups.
Miranda's going to be the Oracle of Black Wolf. Miranda, what's coming next week?
Oh man, no pressure. I've been saying that I'm still waiting for deadlifts to show up. Yeah. Because they're personally like my least favorite thing to see, so I'm waiting for that. Definitely deadlifts and possibly muscle ups. I know Joel was saying that last week, but my prediction, deadlifts.
Okay, I like that. What about you?
I think thrusters and burpees.
But he loves to do that in the last one.
Yeah,
I think last year he changed that, though, didn't he? But before that, like every year, there had been a version of thrusters and burpees in the last workout.
I don't remember what 17.5 was.
18.5.
18. Gee, Willikers, Batman. 17.5 was fun. That was the thrusters and double lunge. I remember that.
Yeah.
One. I don't remember 18.5. What do you think? What do you think's coming up?
Well, I think it's the easy one to say is muscle ups because we've never done muscle ups the last week, and we've had muscle ups every year, and we haven't seen them yet. Yeah. And so I think the easy one to pick is muscle ups, but I think deadlift is a great choice as well.
Bar or ring?
That's a great because they went ring and bar last year. Yeah. And before that was bar only, and then but all years prior to that I think it was rings.
Yeah, I think so.
So who knows? I'm gonna say bar.
Bar.
That's it. So I think that you predict muscle Miranda picks deadlifts, and then we're going muscle ups, right?
You're going muscle ups. I got thrusters.
Burpees. Okay.
I think that's coming up sooner.
That'll be fun. These two got to get out to 8:30. We are going to wrap this up. We will be back next week after 19.4 and looking at only one workout remaining in 19.5.
Whoop, whoop. So fast.
Okay. Thank y'all for joining me. I will see y'all. Well, I'll see you right now.
Thank you for having us, Ben.
All right. See y'all later.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.